สวัสดีครับขอต้อนรับท่านผู้ชมทุกท่านเข้าสู่รายการเสียงไทยเพื่อเสรีภาพของคนไทยทาง Thaivoicemedia นะครับพบกันวันนี้จะพูดถึงเรื่องของสถานการณ์ในประเทศไทยในรอบ1 ปีของการทำรัฐประหารนะครับซึ่งก็มีหลายประเด็นทีเดียวมุมมองในสายตาของนานาชาติมองประเทศไทยอย่างไรรวมทั้งเรื่องของการที่จะมีการออกร่างรัฐธรรมนูญฉบับใหม่ที่ยังคงมีการวิพากษ์วิจารณ์กันอยู่ขณะนี้นะครับและสถานการณ์เรื่องของสิทธิเสรีภาพในประเทศไทยที่กำลังเป็นปัญหาในสายตาของชาวโลกนั้นเป็นอย่างไรนะครับวันนี้จะพูดคุยกับนักกฎหมายที่รู้จักกันดีในประเทศไทยนะครับคุณโรเบิร์ตอัมสเตอร์ดัมตอนนี้อยู่ในสกายของเราแล้วสวัสดีครับ Hi hello Mr. Amsterdam
Hello
Thank you so much for being with us and how are you
I'm well
Good The first thing that I want to know, because we had been thinking, and I think junta military in Thailand, they're thinking about you. You are still working for Dr. Thaksin Shinawatra?
No.
No?
No.
And
okay. What I'm working for is really what's left of those people in Thailand who are still fighting for democracy and rule of law in Thailand.
All right. So, recently, did you meet Dr. Thaksin Shinawatra?
No, I have not met him recently.
Okay. The military, the junta military in Thailand, they're thinking that because former Prime Minister Dr. Thaksin Shinawatra, he hiring the lawyer like you or maybe a lobbyist in another country to pressure the international communities to ban, junta government. Do you believe in this idea?
Look, I think the Thai junta is a disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
They are a shame on all Thais. I don't think Dr. Thaksin or anyone else needs to hire anybody. Mr. Prayuth is an embarrassment. He is a stain on Thai history. He is a man who would do better to remove himself from the public.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what he says publicly does more damage to himself and the junta than any lobbyist could ever do.
Mm-hmm.
You could not pay anyone enough to behave as poorly as Prayuth behaves.
Mm-hmm.
One would have to think that Prayuth was being paid to embarrass the Thai people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we are very surprising that Prayuth thinking the many country like EU country, American or many the powerful country they follow they have been bought, by Thaksin Shinawatra or because the lobbyists
just an embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
He really has no understanding of the international community and the fact that because he came to power under a coup, he
mm-hmm.
has no legitimacy under international law.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, truly, under international legal principles, all governments should be shunning Thailand at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what do you think right now the communities, international communities thinking about Thailand and thinking about junta military in Thailand right now, they are going to restore the democracy or what they're gonna do in Thailand?
I don't think anybody believes they will restore democracy
mm-hmm.
because it's very clear the new constitution will just be a way of entrenching the Amat, entrenching the elites in power,
mm-hmm.
Making the Democrat Party the same party that unleashed the military on innocent protesters, making them look like Democrats as an attempt to make the Amat look progressive. But they're not fooling anyone.
But the Amat and the junta military, they said, we going to have a new democracy. I mean, a Thai-style democracy. So we have a very special democracy in the world. So we don't have to follow the international democracy. We eat rice. We not eat bread. So that is, we are very unique. We are very have a special democracy just fixed for Thai country, for Thailand. What do you think?
I think it's crap. That's what I think. I think it's a joke. I think that many countries have different forms of government. Many countries are closer or farther away from democracy. But the key to democracy is rule of law, freedom of expression, and proper treatment of minorities. In the Thai case, there is no rule of law, particularly under this junta. The Constitution is a fraud. It is being set up to disentitle people from real participation. And minorities, like my brothers and sisters in the North, are not being properly protected, or for that matter in the South. And in this situation, there is no Thai-style democracy. There's a Thai-style fraud. And that's what Prayuth and the other people around Prayuth are trying to cook.
Prayuth said the crisis in my country is happening many times because the politician, the corruption politician and the bad politician. So that's why the military have to come to take control of the country so many times. What do you have an idea about this thing?
The most corrupt institution in Thailand is the military. The military could give a PhD in corruption. So there is really, it's really a farce. Mr. Prayuth has going out for major procurement to his friends. He is behaving as if he's the boss of a mafia family. The man knows absolutely nothing about proper procurement or proper behavior in government.
So what do you think about a new constitution in Thailand drafting constitution?
I think nothing of it. I think once again it will simply be a tool of the Amat. You know, outside of the People's Constitution of 1997, there really hasn't been a constitution that wasn't imposed from above. And this, I'm sure, will be the same farce that we've had to deal with.
So they're going to have a new rules to make a reconciliation in country and to reform. This is, we are going to go through like the transition period. So we're going to reform for being a new country, a new era, and a new model of democracy. That because they want to get rid the power of the politicians. So this is the idea, or this is constitution going to go well, or what is going to be happening?
There are very few words I can say about their idea of a political development without politicians and a constitution without justice or democracy. It's not a formula that will meet with any success because everyone can see through this. One of the ways the Amat power is to have us forget the past. And one of the most important things we can all do as May 19th approaches is remember what happened in Thailand 5 years ago, and remember that we have to hold Prayuth, Abbasid, and others who participated in those events accountable. Only through accountability will Thailand be able to step past this continuous cycle of military intervention and this demand by the Amat that we lose our memory, that we stop thinking about the past.
So, you have any idea about the drafting constitution? So, going to be no.
Look, I can only tell you that it is a constitution to protect the army and to protect the Amat, and I can only say that I think it's less than constructive for me to make comments about it until Thailand actually establishes a true democracy and the junta allows people to properly elect those that they want. They have appeared in the past to wish to elect those that have followed the parties established originally by Dr. Thaksin. The military keeps intervening, keeps lying to the people to attempt to avoid the people's wishes. And I think it's time for the people to vote, all of the people to vote for whoever they wish. I think it is a shame, again, that fraudulent charges are being brought against Yingluck Shinawat, who I believe did a very credible job as Prime Minister. I think that the international community understands full well that these charges are completely without any justification in law.
In my country, we have a problem, and I can say this is the crisis in my country. It's about the corruption. So, what do you think the corruption that occurred in Thailand? Why we have a lot of corruption, and we think the most corruption that happen among the politicians?
I think it happens among all of those in power in Thailand. I think it happens among the army. I think it happens among other sectors as well as politicians. And Thailand is not alone. This is what a problem that has beset emerging economies. And the only way to get rid of it is through transparency and accountability. And the military is hiding. They're hiding from the people. They're hiding from the people what they're doing economically. And many autocratic rulers use corruption allegations as a way to defeat democracy. I've seen this throughout Africa. I've been involved in other cases where this has gone on, and I've seen it in Thailand, where people continuously tried to make this allegation about Dr. Shinawatra while forgetting how effective as a leader he was, how much he did for the people of Thailand, because he did more for the people than any other political leader did for the people. They tried to use these bogus corruption allegations against him.
You talk about the real democracy in Thailand. How we can get the real democracy in Thailand?
Really, it's going to have to come from the street. It's not going to come from the army. It's not going to come from the Democrat Party of Thailand, which is anything but democratic, grossly corrupt. The Democrat Party is really acting now in violation of its history, which it had a really decent history at one point. I think it has to come from those people in the working classes, those people in the professional classes who really want to see real change, real democracy, and real rule of law. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways is to hold the people of 2010 accountable. Mm. I will be publishing some documents on May 19th, and I want to tell everybody who heard me promise years ago to bring these people to account that we have not given up, that we still intend to do this, however long it takes, because I believe only through real truth and accountability in respect to those events will we stop having the military continue to murder civilians in cold blood in Thailand in an attempt to continue their impunity.
So right now in Thailand we have no right to speak, to have a freedom. We don't have a freedom. The media have no freedom, and every Thai people, they have a right to say, the right to say. So what do you try to do, or what you going to do for help Thai people had been pressured by military?
Look, I have to tell you that it's very hard for me right now. I can't speak to people in Thailand. My friends in Thailand don't even try to speak to me. I'm working only with Thais who are outside the country, and it's very difficult for me even to speak to you because I'm constantly told that whatever I do is being followed and watched by the junta because very few people are speaking out. In fact, I doubt this interview you're doing will ever be shown in Thailand.
Yeah.
Because
but the people have a Facebook. I think they can do from YouTube and Facebook. Okay.
Well, I mean, I get very little reaction on my Twitter or anything else anymore because of this, I think, constant blocking by the authorities of anything I may say.
So it's not much that you can do for fight for democracy in Thailand right now.
I don't want to say that. I am working with other people. There have been organizations formed outside of the country, but all of these people feel that they're in danger. So there's really not much I can talk about, other than to tell my friends who saw me on the stage in Bangkok that I stand by everything I said, and that whether or not I directly work for Dr. Thaksin, which I do not, I still support what he did and what I said, and will work till the end of days to try to make those who committed those crimes in 2010 have to pay for them.
Do you working with the Free Thai organization in the board?
Yes.
Okay. So what you gonna do? I mean,
again, I'm not. In fairness to them, I'm not going to say much of anything.
All right.
We're going to come out with a statement on May 19th, and we are intent on following up with the pledges we made. But it's, as I've said, it's extremely difficult with the junta really having a reign of terror going on in Thailand for us to do much inside the country.
What kind of statement that you're going to bring out on 19 May?
You'll see it on the 19th.
Okay, good. So, almost 1 year that military took control the power in Thailand. What do you think, and you can, what do you think in 1 year that military control the country?
Look, for me, I'm shocked by how total the control has been. I'm shocked by how Prayuth has behaved in a manner that is so below his station. Sarit looked like a diplomat. At the same time, what I am concerned about for Thailand is that these military interventions caused Thailand to fall further behind its neighbors in Southeast Asia. And the great economic plans that Thaksin and then Yingluck tried to foster for Thailand as part of the region are faltering because the military simply does not have the economic and commercial vision to carry these out.
And Thailand tried to make a relation because they don't have a good relation between Thai and America, Thai US, I mean Thai and EU country. So military junta tried to go to make a friend with China, Russia, and the communist country. What do you have any comment on this?
Look, I think, China's obviously a very important player in the region, and it's good for Thailand to have a strong relationship with China. At the same time, for the economic development of the country, ensuring that the U.S. relationship is strong is also important. And I think you're right to say that relationship has weakened tremendously over the last year. And that's impacted the army as well as it's impacted the country as a whole. And I think that's one of the major reasons they're trying to speed up the idea of handing the country back to some form of civilian rule.
And between Thai and junta military, between junta military and U.S., what do you think?
I think the United States is going to continue to exclude Thailand in respect to important military procurement. And I think that the Thais are going to continue to find themselves excluded from some major Japanese and other initiatives until some form of stability and real rule of law is implemented.
Let's talk about the Thai people who want to have a democracy, a real democracy, and they are going to working with the Free Thai organization in the board. What do you think about the power of the Thai people who want to have a democracy? They can fight and achieve the goal to have a democracy, and they can take the military down. I mean, the junta military down, and they can control it.
Look, I think what's important to stress, as I always have, is nonviolence. And I think the important thing to realize is that every demonstration, every nonviolent demonstration, gets the attention of the world. May 19th should be a time for nonviolent but silent protest. Some form of way people can protest, wearing a particular color or doing something that demonstrates the lack of legitimacy of the present regime. I think steps like that can be done which take away time and again from the junta's legitimacy, but at the same time don't put people's lives at risk. I think one of the good things for those who care about democracy in Thailand is the fact that the junta is not convincing anyone in the West or in Thailand that they have the ability to govern. I think this is the constant message one gets when one watches Prayuth. He's attacking everybody because he's frustrated at his inability to convince anyone that he actually should be doing what he's doing in the first place.
But even many Thai people and even international communities, they don't like the junta government in Thailand, but junta military try so hard to keep their power and they can stay in the power for long. What do you think?
I mean, look what's happened in Myanmar. I think Thais should realize that in the 21st century, the power of the military is limited. And this particular coup is very much related to other issues, issues we can't discuss. And I think that over time, we will see that the military will lose their legitimacy, impacting Thais economically, and others beside the people and besides the military may well decide that a change is needed.
Okay, so another issue about the drafting constitution. Many Thais said if we have a new constitution from the junta military, so we're going to have another coup in the future, not too far. Do you believe in this idea?
Yes, I believe that it is very possible there'll be a future coup, because as long as the army builds these constitutions, it's clear that they will always leave a trap door which will let them get back in. And one of the key things we have to do is ensure that we demonstrate to the international community there simply is no legitimacy to the present constitution. And all it is an attempt to whitewash military control through the Amat.
But who's going to be the leader for a future coup? Because in military in Thailand, they still, very strong and united.
I can't speculate on who that would be.
Okay. So, what do you think from now on about Thailand until till the junta military still control the power?
I think that the military will probably come up with some bogus transfer in the next number of months, and then we will have within 18 months some form of election where most of the popular people are excluded, so they can gerrymander, or they can find a way to put the Democrats back in power. The Democrats have been unelectable by the people, but they will always be elected by the military. So I think they will make the Democrats look as if they're a force for democracy, even though we know they're actually a force for the military.
So, do you think Democrat Party is going to be the nominee of the Amat?
As they always have been.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amsterdam, and appreciate for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. ครับก็คุณโรเบิร์ตอัมสเตอร์ดัมนะครับเป็นนักกฎหมายที่มีความเชี่ยวชาญและเป็นคนที่ปราดเปรื่องคนหนึ่งในแง่ของข้อกฎหมายและก็เป็นคนที่สนใจแล้วก็มีความเข้าใจในเรื่องของสถานการณ์ทางการเมืองในประเทศไทยค่อนข้างจะดีมากนะครับประสบการณ์ที่เข้าไปร่วมเคลื่อนไหวแล้วก็ต่อสู้ร่วมกับทางนปช.ในช่วง 4-5 ปีที่ผ่านมานั้นก็ได้สร้างการเรียนรู้ในเรื่องของการเมืองไทยอย่างดีมากคนหนึ่งนะครับในฐานะที่เป็นชาวต่างประเทศแล้วก็เขาก็ได้ยืนยันชัดเจนนะครับว่า ปัญหาที่จะเกิดขึ้นในอนาคตสำหรับประเทศไทยนั้นก็มีหลายเรื่องแล้วก็ยังเชื่อมั่นว่าในฝั่งของประชาธิปไตยนั้นสามารถที่จะต่อสู้แล้วก็ดำเนินการเรียกร้องประชาธิปไตยที่แท้จริงกลับมาได้แน่นอนตราบเท่าที่รัฐบาลของพลเอกประยุทธ์นั้นเต็มไปด้วยความอ่อนแอและไม่มีความชอบธรรมขาดการยอมรับทั้งในส่วนของคนไทยเองและในนานาประเทศด้วยที่เป็นประเทศในสากลนะครับหมายถึงว่าในระดับนานาชาติด้วยนะครับรวมถึงเรื่องของร่างรัฐธรรมนูญฉบับใหม่ที่กำลังจะออกมาคุณโรเบิร์ตอัมสเตอร์ดัมเองก็บอกว่าก็จะเป็นปัญหาสำคัญและก็แน่นอนเชื่อมั่นค่อนข้างมากว่าจะนำไปสู่การทำรัฐประหารอีกครั้งหนึ่งแน่นอนเหมือนกันในสถานการณ์การเมืองในประเทศไทยนะครับเอาละครับและนี่คือทั้งหมดของเสียงไทยเพื่อเสรีภาพของคนไทยในวันนี้ขอบพระคุณที่ติดตามรับชมนะครับกลับมาพบกันใหม่ครั้งหน้าสำหรับวันนี้สวัสดีครับ